Hello and welcome to Malaysia, where the monsoon conditions have once more struck, ready for what seems now to be the start of this second race of the weekend in the GP2 Asia Series. And Gareth, the weather conditions when the cars were ready to come out to the grid, absolutely torrential rain. But I mean, the track was always going to be designed with that in mind, and so hopefully is going to dry fairly quickly now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're used to heavy rain around here. You can see in the foreground, doesn't look too bad online, but in the background you can see an awful lot of standing water, so very dangerous to start under racing conditions. So starting another pace car today, I think. And
nearly half an hour behind time, and this is exactly why Bernie Ecclestone insists on a good 2-hour gap between the end of anything scheduled and the beginning of Formula One, because with 100 million billion people tuning in, they don't want to see the tail end of a rain-swept GP2 race when they should be seeing the Formula One cars going around. And some hardy fans there. As you can see, it's still very much T-shirt weather, very hot, very humid, and the rain certainly won't do much to relieve that. I mean, look at the sky, it's really leaden. So then we have our top half dozen, our top 8 indeed from yesterday's race, reversed on the grid. Down there at the bottom left-hand corner, you can see the pale blue and yellow of Davide Valzetti, and the Durango driver on pole position, finished 8th in yesterday's race, claimed the final point. He is the only man who can stand between Kamui Kobayashi and the championship. Realistically, Roldan Rodriguez has a slight mathematical chance, but very slight. However, at the moment, in fact, no, he doesn't. He's 20 points behind. Yes, he does, I suppose, 20 points behind. But Valzetti has got to have a good race here. He can't afford to let this go. Kamui Kobayashi finished in second place in yesterday's race, starts in 7th. So out of the points as we get away behind the safety car. And he has to outscore the pole sitter by 4 at least to claim the championship here. And who's that not got away?
Yamamoto, isn't it?
It is. Yamamoto's not having much of a weekend, is he? He had a poor start yesterday and no start at all today, and he's not the only one either. That's one of the Fisichella cars who was right down towards the back there, Chen, I think, who finished 20th, last running car in yesterday's race. So starting off behind the safety car, and you can see just how wet it is. Yelmer Berman, renowned wet weather expert, finding the car stepping out all over the place on him. Drivers' points, Kobayashi leads by 17, 20 points in total if you get everything, including pole, fastest laps in both races and wins in both races. That's a mathematical maximum remaining in Bahrain. So if Kobayashi is 21 ahead at the end of this, then he's the champion. And if he isn't, then it goes to Bahrain at the end of the season.
See, the standing water there is lethal, isn't it? It's like a mirror almost.
Yeah, not exactly much fun, is it?
No, I mean, the single seater, the extra problem is because the ride heights are so very low, so you end up aquaplaning very, very easily. So they've got to make sure there's at least a decent racing line out there before they can think about starting the race.
Yes, the Mercedes probably in these conditions has got quite a lot more grip than the cars have, particularly since most of their grip comes from going quickly. Well, Yamamoto in the pit lane, and it hasn't been a great weekend for the ART team, and that is Kevin Chen. Are they going to push start him? They're going to try. Something's going there. That's not a GP2 engine you can hear, incidentally. That sounds like a speed car V8 being run up. Oh, if only. Imagine a field full of single-seaters sounding like that, Gareth. You'd probably pale at the lack of technicalness of it, but it would sound wonderful. Well, Bernd Mailander's pushing on pretty quickly. He wants to give the guys some idea of what they're going to face when the race starts, because there won't be any visibility and there won't be any grip, and they do need to know, don't they?
They do, and also, although it's very wet out there, they still can get some heat into the tyre by pushing, and they have to push. If they just cruise around and then start the race off, as you say, they're not going to feel for the track. There'll be no heat in the tyres, and that will be dangerous.
And so Yamamoto and Chen are already a lap behind, and they're going to be deep in trouble when the race does get underway, because they will have no tyre temperature, well, never mind to speak of, no tyre temperature at all. And even in wet weather conditions, these tyres need 70 or 80 degrees to deal with. Well,
Maldonado seems to be unnecessarily close to Valsecchi's rear end there, isn't he?
He's eager to stay with the leader, isn't he? And he's eager to make sure that Valsecchi is aware that he's going to be there. Now, Yamamoto, the green light was on, could have rejoined there, presumably. But the red light is now on at the end of the pit lane. So, first lap completed behind the safety car. Waiting for the race director to decide that it is safe to release this field into the monsoon, or the result of the monsoon, at least here in Malaysia. Here we go then, lights off on the safety car. We are ready to go racing with three abreast. Davide Valsecchi bunching the field up, Pastor Maldonado, Vitaly Petrov, the red car. Oh, it's Berman. There was contact, and this is a long way before the start line as well. Green flag is out. Maldonado ran into the back of Valsecchi. Well, no accusation, Gareth, of being behind too far at the restart, because the start of the race, because there were nearly four abreast going into the final corner. Valsecchi holds on. Maldonado's going to lose, or is he?
Petrov, isn't it, trying to come outside? He's going to get the place because it's a left-hander coming up.
Yeah, Petrov around the outside now, cuts to the inside. But then it becomes the outside again, and Maldonado wriggles his way through. Jelmer Berman in fourth, everybody else lost in the spray. James Jakes facing backwards there, I think. It looked like a Supernova car. Ooh, I tell you what, Maldonado really wants to win this one. He's having a very solid look at Valsecchi. Two of them raced a couple of seasons together in World Series by Renault, so they know each other well. More cars off in the background. That's Nunez, yesterday's winner, his first GP2 win. Just about holding on from Kamui Kobayashi. So Nunez has got ahead of the championship leader, and Kobayashi out of the points at the moment.
Yes, as you say, we often see after a safety car, the cars behind the leader drop away and lose concentration. Maldonado, the complete opposite there. He was too close to the leader and actually punted him as they entered the last corner before the start of the race, before the race had actually started.
I'm not sure what the regulation is about hitting cars behind the safety car, but I'm sure that's probably not allowed.
Yeah.
But it was unintentional, and in these conditions, you can imagine very easily, Gareth, at low speed, low grip, how the thing just locks up and sails into the back of somebody.
Why it probably wasn't all that clever to be that close in these conditions, because it is easy to lock up and grab a wheel and just and do what he did.
I tell you what, it is absolutely filthy out there. There's only two people that can see where they're going. One is Valsecchi, the other one is Petrov, who was way over the other side of the tracks, 10 metres offline, just to make sure he could see where the corner was, because this is vital, and Maldonado's having another good look. And there's no traction to be had anywhere over any other part of the track, so tight, wide, doesn't seem to make much difference.
That's right, you can see Valsecchi trying hard to try and find grip right around the outside of the track, way off the normal dry line, but didn't really provide any benefit there whatsoever.
Well, this is, again, Valsecchi.
He's done the same